If you are interested in starting your own podcast, we use Buzzsprout because it is simple and easy to use. Buzzsprout can get your show listed on every major platform while giving you the resources for a great podcast website, audio players that can drop into other websites, detailed analytics to see how people are listening to your podcast, and tools to promote your episodes. Podcasting isn't hard when you have the right partners, and that is why over 100,000 podcasters are already subscribed to Buzzsprout to get their message out to the world. Following the link in our episode descriptions lets Buzzsprout know that we sent you. So in return, you will receive a $20 Amazon gift card from Buzzsprout while signing up for a paid plan. Most importantly, every subscription through our link is always appreciated and helps support our show so we can continue delivering the quality content that you guys listen to. That being said, back to the show. All right, everybody, welcome to Comic Book Junkies. This is Joe.
I'm Andrew.
I'm Juan Florencia.
And today we have a very special episode of Comic Book Junkies, rolling out the red carpet, end of summer episode. We got our 3 comic junkies here, and we're going to talk about all the weird comic book stories that we've had in the last few months. But if we get time, a little bit of comic book news that came out recently. Kind of just going to go off the top here, no real structure. I guess let's start actually around the 4th of July. So Juan came to visit. We had it made up in our minds that we were going to find some comic book store, and I believe it was the day after the 4th, we got into a pretty cool comic book hunt.
Yeah, I'd say so. But before we get into that, just really quickly, I just want to say that I'm stoked to be here because actually, like, even before the 4th, we had met up in, May? And we had done the Comic-Con, which you guys already discussed on the show. And I wasn't there for the show, but I was at the con with you guys. So like this whole summer, we've kind of like come together and done the comic thing. So I thought that was really cool.
Yeah, it's been awesome. Like I kind of slipped in there too. You guys obviously had a little bit more hunting, but being able to join up, I also had some good pickups with you guys, showing me a new honey hole. You know what I'm saying?
We kind of ditched Burger a little bit after the 4th because something pretty cool came up. So we were going to go out and meet up with Burger out where he lives, going to one of our favorite comic book stores. And I get a text message from my boss saying, "Are these comic books any good?" And she sent me a picture of like first appearance of Hal Jordan, like issues 1 through like 50 of Green Lantern, all kinds of ridiculous stuff. And I'm just like, yeah. And then she's like, "Well, I have a friend on Facebook who works at the shop and he just posted these. I don't know if they're good or not, but just kind of wanted to forward that your way." So I tell Juan, let's stop whatever we were going to do and head straight over there. So it was a comic book store I wasn't really familiar with, knew well to tap into. So we go over there and it was like the perfect storm, right? So when we walk in...
Wait. I'm going to interrupt you for a second because when you got that text and you showed me the comics that were like posted on Facebook or something, and I was like, there is no way in hell we show up to this comic book shop and get any of these books. In my mind, I was like, they're going to be like way overpriced. There's like, they just came into this collection. Obviously, it looks like it was someone's like personally like curated Green Lantern collection. And the fact that there was a first appearance Hal Jordan, I was like, there's no way we get that. Okay, go ahead. Sorry.
No, I was right there with you. Like, I wasn't going there for the Hal Jordan. I was going there for like the Biddles, like any like the scraps. and so we get in the store, and the guy working behind the counter works at like a Meijer or some kind of like
it's like a TJ Maxx,
like a TJ Maxx, and so he didn't really know what was going on. Didn't really have an idea of kind of how to run the shop. But I asked him about a Facebook post that we came across, and he was very hesitant to like show us the Green Lantern stuff. What we found out is that it was so new that it wasn't even priced out yet. And the guy that runs the shop or manages it, he was not there at the time. And so I think he was kind of nervous trying to like present us stuff, not being able to sell it to us. But Juan's wife stepped in and she was like, "Look, dude, these are serious collectors. Bring out the books." And so the dude plops the books on the counter. Most of it's raw, not a lot of bags and boards or whatever. And interestingly enough, there wasn't like rhyme or reason to it. Half of them were like completely beat, and the other half were like 5 and up, like really kind of clean for being old raw books. And these people had everything. And he definitely didn't want to sell us anything, but we were pretty persistent on walking away with some of this stuff. So we get the guy to like take pictures of it with his really cheap phone with the blurred camera.
This flip phone.
Yeah. And send it to his manager. And so we get to barter with like the manager like over the phone. And so he's not really like in store to look at these books or like anything. So like the ball's in our court. So initially I pulled a Green Lantern 16 first app and origin of Star Sapphire, and Juan pulled out a few cool books too. And then we kind of got like a pretty good quote as to what we should anticipate for cost. But what was going on is that his card reader was coincidentally down, and so we didn't even know if we'd get these books today. So we drive out to Berger's neck of the woods. We hang out at his shop for a second. He was gonna meet us there then, but we just get the text fresh off the phone.
Right.
Card reader is up. And so, sorry, Burger, gotta go. And
I understand.
So, yeah, Juan and
You're
I
on a mission, dude.
On a mission. Juan and I go back to this store. I actually dig out another book, a Green Lantern 5, first appearance and origin of Hector Hammond, and we get a pretty good bundle deal. But Juan, I'm going to pass it on over to you. Talk about some of the stuff you pulled that day.
Okay, so for sure, but I don't want to lose sight of how like tense the situation was, because we're dealing with TJ Maxx and the shop owner like over a phone. And at one point I got on the phone and I was talking to him directly, right? And that's kind of like where I was like, okay, this is something awesome's about to happen. But I had, for shits and giggles, pulled out the Showcase 22, the first appearance of Hal Jordan, and also the like most iconic Green Lantern Green Arrow cover, the issue number 76, where Green Arrow's like shooting the Green Arrow through the lantern battery, or the lantern, the battery for Hal's ring. So I pulled those two, and I was like, "There's no way." Is no fucking way. And the guy, the shop owner, eventually, I think he quoted me something like 2,500. And I was like, oh man, he wants to negotiate. So I shot back 2,100 for both books, and he was like, yes. And I was like, holy shit. In my mind, I wanted to be like, are you crazy?
That's wild.
What's crazy is Juan wasn't even a Green Lantern fan until that day. Here, I've been freaking working on this Green Lantern collection for like a year plus, and Juan comes in and buys the whole freaking stack.
Yeah, that was, yeah. I felt bad, but also, like, to your point, like, I couldn't pass it up. It was like, if
I wasn't going to buy it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, you know, $2,000 still a lot of money to throw at a comic book, a raw comic book that Joe and I actually thumbed through in the store after borrowing some gloves from the bubble tea shop next door because the guy didn't want us touching the pages.
I remember sending a picture to Berger and of us like thumbing through this stuff, and he's like, "Why are you wearing gloves?"
That was crazy.
Yeah.
Yeah. So things are tense as hell, and the fact that this guy has just agreed to $2,100 for these two books, not to mention the deal he was going to give Joe on his, and then the card reader situation where it was like, okay, let's pay. Oh, wait a second. No. And then having to leave without leaving with those comics in hand when we had, like, both of us were ready to pay. On it. Right, exactly. And then so fast forward to us back at the store, and then lo and behold, the owner shows up. And that's where shit got even crazier.
Damn.
Right? Yeah, like he's taken a sweet old time for some reason, even though we've been there for a minute. And he's okay locking in the deals we kind of negotiated previously, but we were also interested in a few more books at that point because we're getting good deals. So it's just like when you're at the casino and you're winning and you just keep hitting max bet until that's so it was like that. And eventually Sarah's like, I can't take it anymore. And so she's walking up to the guy and it's like, can we just get a price? And he shoots us a really good deal. And then she asks for more off for us. And we locked it in. So, like, my first appearance of Star Sapphire and my first Hector Hammond was like, what? $200 flat, and they're both like 5 or better. And interestingly enough, about the Green Lantern 16, those are actually kind of expensive in a high grade because that's when the title moved from 10 cents to 12 cents. So the people at the time were like a little more hesitant picking it up. So I came away with exactly what I wanted and more, and Juan came away a Green Lantern fan.
Yeah, well, with a collection anyway.
Yeah, so it was just like the perfect storm. In my 10 years of collecting, this is probably one of my most wild experiences, and it was actually a pretty good shop, all things considered. The only weird part is that they asked for a picture with Juan and I in our books before we left, because they were talking about putting it on their socials, and we're like, yeah, that sounds normal. And so we take this picture, and no pictures were ever posted. So don't know what the dude's doing with our picture.
That's in the private collection.
Yeah,
that's in his PC, dude.
Right.
It's spanked,
bagged and boarded.
The front of the
Maybe he was embarrassed because of the deal we got.
Yeah, maybe it's because you guys fucked him. He wanted to remember.
Yeah.
Some evidence of the fucking that had happened. The fact that we left there with all of those books, and so the other 2 books that I picked up were the famous Speedy Junkie cover, and was it First Appearance John Stewart? So and I had picked up at the shop the new Honey Hole for the 3 of us. I had picked up the first appearance of Sinestro prior to us doing this. So I now have like 5 major Green Lantern keys.
You got it all, dog. Everything that matters.
Just
except for issue 1, which I talked one out of the time.
I want one. That's such a cool cover. It's goofy like clown cover, but it's sick.
Right?
Yeah. It would have been a good buy, but that thing was pretty beat.
Yeah, but I mean, I guess at this point, that's my only regret because of all the other books I got. It's like, why not? It would have just been gravy, you know?
Damn straight, brother. I feel you. That's cool. But whatever, dude. You came out with such a haul. Like, who cares? Small potatoes at that point. You got the big tuna. Yeah. Hal Jordan, dude. Imagine. Joe and I wish.
Yeah. And like, you know, usually people will send you pictures of comic books because they know you like to collect, but it's usually like junk, like 90s stuff and whatever. Right. But they sent me like the coolest thing ever, and we just took advantage of our opportunity.
Pilfered.
Yeah, that dude's definitely embarrassed to post that picture of being robbed in broad daylight in his own shop. Like he was an accomplice.
It was a robbery with no gun. Fucking, we'll be taking these.
Yeah, his card reader probably failed again after we get.
All right. It's like you don't deserve to own a business.
No. I think too what added to it is he was kind of in a rush too, right? Like not like looking at our stuff, but I guess they were like getting ready for like another con. So like they were just trying to pack up a bunch of stuff. And
yeah, let's forget the real con books. We'll just leave those here with these 2 guys.
Right.
That's so
and
cool.
That Showcase 22, the one that I dropped $2K, and like, so he knew that it had some worth, right? But it was in such good shape. It's like 1959, I think. The pages were, you know, white to off-white. The major issue, there was 2 major issues. It was loose at the staples, but not detached.
I should call her.
Right. And we've all seen, you know, and that's tenuous, right? So kid gloves. And then on the back 2 pages, so the back cover and then the first page have like, I don't know, like a 2 or 3 inch tear, but it's complete. Like it's a rip. But I mean, versatile Jordan. The other books that I've seen on eBay anyway, in the condition that mine is in, is they go like $4 or $5 grand easy.
Easy.
Yeah.
It's pretty nice.
And not that I ever sell anything, but
yeah,
potentially.
We put that thing in a fresh Mylar when we got home, and nothing beats that.
Yeah.
Well, I got another crazy story, but Burger, what do you got?
I don't really got anything that crazy, really, but I've been on like a little growth journey and kind of inspired by Joe. So I've been searching for more minor keys again, like lately, or, just cool stuff that's like not going to cost me an arm and a leg, just going around to shops and finding stuff. I got like a Flash annual 1. It's the only annual in it. It's like oversized though. It's huge as fuck. But that's pretty cool. It's just basically a bunch of reprints of like a bunch of his villains and Star Sapphire, like Wally West, stuff like that. So it's kind of cool. Got like a low grade, or not low grade, but like a mid grade, like Spawn 1 for like $10, just because those are like, I don't know, 30, 40 if they're clean now.
Mhm.
But when that used to be such like a cheap book, but like I feel like every collector should have one. So I grabbed one.
Dude, I feel the same way about the Savage Dragon. I pick those suckers up in the dollar bins every time I see them.
Nice. The Savage Dragon. Do you got a Savage Dragon, Joe?
No, I don't got one. Maybe Juan will let me buy one from him.
I mean, I was going to talk about
No,
one of
please.
my bigger pickups. So these were all at my local comic shop. I mean, it's lower grade, but I felt like the value was there for how cool it was. I went like just one random weekend day and just spent like an hour in there, just wandering around like aimlessly. And I was just about to give up, but I went over to the X-Men box, like in their little premium issue boxes. And I thumbed through it real quick. And the first book in there was an X-Men 14, a first appearance of the Sentinels. And I was just like, $100 for that. And it's like still attached and complete. I was like, I'm in.
Hell yeah.
So I felt like pumped. I mean, it's not like high grade by any means, but like I don't care. Like $100 for something like that is cool. An old Silver Age book. Plus, I don't have that much X-Men. I've got like a Gambit and a Sabretooth.
Plus Sentinels, man.
Oh, I do have a giant size, but that's like classic. I don't have too much else, so I thought it was worth it. But other than that, I've really just gotten small books like a Devil Dinosaur 1. I mean, classic. I've been lobbying Joe to get one because it's worth it. Do you got one? Do you not trust the dinosaur?
Oh, I've got a dinosaur.
Hell yeah, dude. Join the dinosaur squad.
I try to pick up any of that shit. Like first Anthro appearance. I love that character.
It's cool. I always tell Jazz she should get first Anthro. I was like, you studied anthropology. I was like, so.
Well, I like that you get like Anthro and Commandy in the first Crisis.
Yeah, I don't think that they're utilized enough, but I like to grab all that stuff. I've been thinking about grabbing an OMAC. Yeah, some like fucking late Kirby stuff. Basically a futuristic Captain America that never caught on. So I don't know. It still rules. I'll grab anything Kirby for sure.
Ever since Juan came out the time before and we went to that one shop, and there was just so many cool books you can get for $50 on under, and it kind of re-inspired me. Yeah, I didn't think it was possible with the market going the way it was, but you didn't realize like how much fun it was collecting those small books, because that's kind of like what you cut your teeth on too, and so it's just kind of fun just doing what you're doing when you first got into the hobby.
It's nostalgic.
And still finding good deals, you leave happy. But speaking of that Devil Dinosaur, that leads me into my other story. So I've gotten a few books since we did that Green Lantern haul, but came with a story that's not as cool. So some comic book people can be jerks, dude, because I went into a comic book store that I've had my pull at for years now, like probably 4 years, and spending God knows how much money there. And I don't want to pull that card, but I've always been pretty close to the store manager, and he was always like taking care of me. He knew I would buy, and so he'd like put away books for me and all that good stuff. But since then, I think he's taken on a job somewhere else, and it's like new management or whatever. So I recently go in there, and they actually have some some inventory. So I look at their back wall, and they have 2 copies of Secret Wars issue 1. One of them was the Blue Galactus variant. It was like $50 and $30 for both copies. All kinds of stuff. They have the Devil Dinosaur. They had first issue of Mr. Miracle. What else did they have? They had
Gotta get some granny goodness now.
Oh, New Gods 1. So I asked if they could grab those books for me because you got to get a ladder to get them down. And as soon as she grabs them,
Who are they hiding them from, dude? Like,
right? No,
like a pack of monkeys.
Well,
like,
I have been to that shop, and there's some pretty sketch people hanging around on the street.
There are. It's Skid Row.
And not the awesome band.
No. And the employees are just as worse as the people outside. So like they hand me the books and she's over my shoulder the whole entire time. And I'm just trying to like inspect like the condition. And I'm not even taking these things out of the bags and boards. And after about a minute, 2 minutes, she's like, you're not allowed to look at these anymore unless you take them up to the front, which I don't get because it was not a lot of customers in there. She's clearly watching me. So it's just like, what else can I do? I'd probably be able to dart out the front of the store pretty easily if I was at the counter versus the back. But okay.
Why are you thinking that? Did you think of an escape plan? Sounds like
No,
you had
I'm
one,
just
Joe.
saying,
Sounds like it was within reason for them to put you up front.
Anyway, so I'm like, okay, that's fine, whatever. And so I go to the front counter with them and I'm looking at the books. Of course, they don't want to do any deals on the books, but I'm not really hanging my hat on that. And then while I was at the front counter and they're grabbing my pull, I was asking if they could hold a book for me that's coming out in a month. And they're like, even if we could get that book, it's probably going to be in somebody else's pool. Somebody probably already has it. It's just like, dude, I'm trying to spend like $300 right now. And you're like trying to like gatekeep me from spending more money. And I'm like, whatever. And all other kinds.
And what's this probably shit though? Like either you know it's in someone's other pool or you don't. And if you don't know, then fucking find out.
100%. And they're like kind of like laughing at me and like, who'd you used to work with? I'm like, Matt. And they're like, he's not there anymore. And I said, I can tell, you know, like. So I was going to buy the Mr. Miracle that day and the Devil Dinosaur, but I put it down. I couldn't completely leave with nothing. And so the Secret Wars was too good to pass up on. And so was the New Gods one. So I left there. I was thinking about like quitting my pull with them, like calling some other shops, but I haven't got around to like researching where I kind of want to go moving forward. And so most recently I went back in there. Those weirdos were not in there. They actually did grab that book for me. So thank you. And the Mr. Miracle was still there. So I did buy that.
but the dinosaur had fled?
Yeah, the dinosaur was gone. There's
still time before it goes through the roof, you know. You can get on board, Joe. You need to.
Well, I did grab some Kirby stuff and, you know, I still probably want to get my pull somewhere else, but things worked out.
Go online, man. That's what I would do. I mean, that's what I have done.
I thought about it.
Get your comics through the subscription online.
I just like to be teased by like good books when I go in to pick my pull every now and then. And then also, I know with a lot of those subscriptions, maybe not all of them, you have to have like a minimum. And I'm collecting kind of a lot of books right now on my pull, but it's about to get pretty short pretty quick. So
a lot right now means like 5. So
yeah.
Yeah. I think, you know, some of those services aren't too bad. And if you aren't getting a whole lot of books, you can opt for like longer shipping times. I think that kind of negate having to spend like hundreds of dollars every week.
Gotcha. Yeah.
Anyway, fuck those people, man. I've been treated like shit there too. And I sold them a bunch of fucking crap too, and they bought it.
Yeah. Oh, and I stay crapping on comic book stores. There's gonna be nothing but online. Anyway,
well, to your point about like comic shops being dirty, when I listen, I am a big guy. I always have been. And when I was like a teen, I would go to this shop. And Joe, you grew up in the same city, and those motherfuckers they would have employees in there, and they would like make fun of me when I came in there. I was like, motherfuckers, like I'm coming in here and buying comic books. Don't fuck with me. But anyway, so it goes.
Yeah.
Have you guys gotten any major pickups that you haven't already mentioned?
I picked up X-Men number 5, which is pretty sweet.
That's cool.
I think, you know, when we were all together over the holiday, we were discussing kind of like our tracks in terms of like books or characters or teams that we're interested in. And I kind of have fallen into, I think, the X-Men camp.
X-Men corner.
Yeah. So I'm going to try to do 1 through Well, all of it, I guess, like the original volume 1.
I want to do that with Spider-Man.
Yeah.
I want
That-
volume 1.
I mean, that's tight. That's better than X-Men, but unless Joe and I stumble upon another like
They get an X-Men collection in a few months.
They did.
Oh, did
What?
they?
They did actually. They have every issue from what was it? It was like 120 to 220.
Wow.
Yeah.
That
So
doesn't excite me.
it'd be cool if you're trying to fill a run. And then you got like your Kitty Pryde and Emma Frost
hoping they'd
in
have, like,
there and Sinister, but nothing big.
I was hoping they're gonna have like an X-Men 1 and then like an X-Men 4, and then you guys come in there and you bully them.
My wife throws
Yeah,
the
bring
fucking
Juan's
smackdown.
Yeah, they got another giant size in there, and Joe's like, "I'll have that one."
Yeah, maybe one day. I haven't really picked a lane in that regards, but I did go through my box of just like stuff I picked over the years, and there were some books in there that I didn't even know I had.
That's when you know you're a serious junkie, man. Is
Yeah.
when you thumb through your own collection and you're like, I own that.
It was cool though. I had a lot of fun recataloging some of that stuff and finding out books that I had no idea I owned. But outside of that, nothing too crazy that I found, but it was kind of cool to just thumb through that stuff. And
Yeah, it was fun cataloging it.
yeah.
Yeah. I swear every like 5 or so years, I like to just break out the entire collection and just kind of organize it, go through it, clean it up a little bit. Cause my collection is so huge that bags and boards like need to be swapped out. Like it's been, I don't know, almost 30 some years now at this point.
Damn,
So-
rebagging and boarding every so often.
Well, it's funny because like my own collection at some point turns into those collections you find in just like antique shops and shit, you know, where the bags back in like the early 90s, like they yellow and shit. They must have like an oil component or something to them because they kind of get that like they're like pliable almost. I don't know.
I don't know either.
All right. Well, when yours gets as big as mine, then you'll know.
I'm still growing.
Well, and in addition to comic books, how about like other comic related media? You guys been checking? I mean, there's a ton of shit out there.
I got 2 more books that I
Okay.
capped off in between. These were strictly eBay purchases, but these were like personal, like PC Big Tuna catches. Because you're not going to find WoW Comics 18 at the comic book shop. And if you do, point it out to me because it's a first Uncle Marvel, dude.
Nice.
That rules. And I mean, I got Talkie Tawny, Mr. Mind. I've got pretty much every Monster Society villain other than Ibak and, well, like Sabak, but he's like a Captain Marvel Jr. villain. And I'm still working on that. But Golden Age Corner is growing. We talked about it at Con. You saw me staring at it the whole time because I wanted to get a big book. That's Spider-Man 8. I waited and I've got one of those now. It's about like 2.53 range. It's pretty decent. So I'm pretty pumped because now I have 3 through 10 and I'm getting there.
Nice. So is your next big Spider-Man pickup a 2?
It's either a 2 or a 14. And everything I've heard leads to me getting a 14 first because I do also have 13 and 15. So then I would just need 10 and 11, which are just second and third Dr. Puss. And I think I could grab those. So I'm pumped, but I'm trying to lay off the eBay stuff, just kind of keep it to the comic shop now, just grabbing smaller stuff.
Yeah.
I need to buckle down, but God knows we're junkies, so we're not going to completely, turn off
It does
help
the fix a little bit though. Like I got a first Joe Fix It recently. I've been kind of filling in Crisis on Infinite Earths. I got that Green Arrow costume redesign with the trademark goatee that you pointed out to me. So just kind of finding stuff like that's been cool. But outside of collecting and stuff like that, there was a lot of news that came out of Marvel and DC. I was a little underwhelmed with the lack of DC news. I hope that means, and this is me being optimistic, that they have like a plan for the year following or like some kind of like redesign or like rebuild, but that was kind of lame. I was hoping to hear a little bit more maybe about their Green Lantern TV show. We really just heard about Shazam and Black Adam. And then on the Marvel side of things, you can kind of tell that they have a plan. I was happy regardless of which rendition of Secret Wars they're going to do, but it sounds like they're going to move forward with the Secret Wars. So it was good timing that I got those issue 1s too, by the way.
For sure.
Yeah. Well, on the DC side too, I mean, Batgirl got shit canned. So
they're canon everything. They
Yeah.
did say that they have a plan for DC moving forward and that they want to kind of copy Marvel in the way that they want to have a 10-year plan. And I'm pretty sure everything's getting scrapped aside from like Momoa, Aquaman, and then like Shazam and Black Adam. But like moving forward, I think, they'll keep that. But I think they're keeping Peacemaker for season 2, and I hope that they do.
Yeah.
'Cause that's like DC's best thing right now, other than the Batman, in my opinion.
And Doom Patrol.
I do like Doom Patrol. Jazz and I kind of fell off watching it like through the second season, or did we start the third season? But we watched like a couple seasons of that. We like it, but I haven't kept up with it. I need to catch up.
Yeah, DC, man, that's unfortunate because I definitely lean towards DC, but is what it is, I guess. But I've been catching all sorts of shit. Like I started Sandman on Netflix, started Miss Marvel with my kids, looking forward to She-Hulk. Oh, and then my oldest daughter and I went and saw Thor: Love and Thunder. And we liked it.
Nice.
Really?
I mean, I understand the criticisms, but I didn't care because it's a fucking Thor comic book movie.
How was Christian Bale?
And I love me some Natalie Portman. And Christian Bale, I don't know, that character wasn't interesting to me at all.
Oh.
I think the villain sort of served more as a plot device for the Thors. Natalie Portman and Chris Hemsworth. There were some goats in it, and the goats were fucking awesome.
Nice.
I heard you like the movie Prey.
Oh yeah. Have you guys seen it yet?
I have not, but I've heard good things.
Oh my God. I was a big fan of the Predator movie and Predator 2. And I've seen like most of the like Predator, Alien, AVP, that kind of shit. But this may be the best Predator movie ever, including 1. Like that might be sacrilege, but I don't care. Like some of those movies are dated and you go back and you watch it now and it's like, yeah, it's cool, but it's like I'm used to modern movies a little bit. I don't know. The cinematography in Prey was beautiful. The story was awesome. Amber Midthunder, the actress, is phenomenal.
Wasn't she on Legion?
Yep, on Legion and something else too.
I got a first cameo of Legion.
I was on Hulu last night and you shot me that text to watch that, and I had it pulled up, but Nicole and I decided to pull an audible and start Love on the Spectrum Australian version. The OG version.
Yeah.
And that's treating me right now. So
I
I'll
told
have to
you.
Circle back to Prey afterwards. But I guess that would
the duality of man.
I know.
I think I'd lean towards Prey. Let me just say the other thing about this movie is that it has an option to watch it in Comanche language version, which is awesome.
That's sick.
I'll have to catch it in you said Comanche version?
Yeah, that's the way I'd do it.
I'll have to do that. But thank you so much, Juan, for making time to come on to the pod. It's always a pleasure.
Yeah,
That
we'd
was a
love
fun
to have
episode.
you. We hope to see you again.
Absolutely.
Soon.
I love coming and doing it. Thanks for having me.
All right. Well, we'll have you on soon. Thank you, CBJ listeners. Check us out at our usual platforms. Usually we got Burger doing the outro, but we have a guest today. So
It's Joe Ship. And with that, we love you guys. We'll catch you next time.
Peace out.
later.